Is handmade dead? You know, that question has been popping up on YouTube all over the place, right? And I think it deserves a bit more of a deeper conversation because it's got so many different elements. And I want to hear what you think about this as well, because I know that I've got very particular ideas. I'm human, I've got an opinion, but if you're a handmade artisan, grab your crafting, grab your creations, let's get into this together and discuss, is handmade dead? Last week when I tried creating on the video, it was not really a success, right? I was trying to create, I was getting distracted doing all the stuff. So I thought that I would partway create something over the weekend and then I'd have a bit more to share with you so that I can jump into it. So if you don't already know me, my name's Lena. I'm the proud owner of madeit.com.au. And my handmade background is in fashion. And so I was working on this pair of pants because I'm in a bit of a linen phase at the moment. This beautiful sage green that I was going to cut out into a dress. And I've ended up doing this beautiful pant, which is a little bit tricky to show you, but it's kind of like a little bit of that carrot leg, right? Where you've got that shape around your thigh, but it comes in narrow at the ankle. But I've added in this beautiful stripe, but have a look at that pocket detail there. How cool is that? So you've got that cut-in pocket opening on the seam, then plus that detail, which is going to be all completely bagged out on the back. And I'm just going to be threading some elastic through there on the back, and it'll sort of look like that. But I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, what are you crafting? What are you creating? Hopefully it's something cool. Now, Rachel from Mellow Yarns as well the other week had said, she loves the format. It'd be a great idea that we could craft together and maybe if we could make this live. Well, I've come up with a massive brainwave on that, Rach, and I'm working on it. So stay posted. I'm just working out a bit of tech stuff and then I'm going to have a session where we can kind of all jump on live. But I want to make it even better where customers can also jump on and ask us questions as well. So stay posted on that. When I first thought about this question, it made me write two things down, right? Handmade and business. And so the question is handmade dead, right? Well, is handmade dead or are we talking about handmade business? And they're two very different things because I think that when you think about the case of handmade, right? I don't know about you, but it's incredibly therapeutic for me. It's the one time that I get to really zone out. You know, I put podcasts on and I can hear it and I can listen, but it's that mindful kind of meditation, right? Where I'm taking in that information. But if I was normally listening to a podcast, I mean, it's why listening to podcasts in cars is so good, right? Because you get to kind of just, you're focusing on the road and you can listen and it kind of blocks out everything else, except being traffic safe, right? But the same happens for me when I'm creating, and I'm sure you're the same, right? Where it's like, I get to really dive into that space and it absolutely helps me with my personal well-being. And talking to hundreds of artisans on the platform, they're exactly the same. And maybe for you, it's where your handmade journey started out, that it was actually quite a therapeutic practice that you did. And at some point, you then decided to take it into a business. And this kind of brings out, I think, really what is the actual question in this moment. And it's, is handmade business dead? And there's so many different areas that I want to talk to about this topic, but I think one of the key things is in that word business, right? Is that because naturally when we talk about handmade, we talk about artisans, we don't usually bundle that name together with business. And so I think when we're talking about is handmade business dead, we've got to remember that it's still a business. So it doesn't matter whether it's got handmade in front or artisan in front, it's still at its core a business. Now, if you're not operating it like a business, thinking about profit, thinking about pricing, thinking about your marketing, then of course it's going to be a really tricky business to get into. But that would be the same no matter what your business was. You know, the same thing that I would say to a small service business owner is that if you're not really committing to it with that desire to want to run it as a business, then you're setting yourself up for failure in the first spot. So there's your first question. Are you set up and are you running your business as a business? And that means that you're looking at the numbers in your business, you understand the profitability of your business, and do you know your marketing and what your marketing strategy is and how you gain more customers? I'm gonna put some elastic in this waistband. Did you know I know this from years of manufacturing in fashion, that elastic shrinks. So if you're using elastic in your garments, make sure that you're pre-shrinking it with lots of steam before you cut it to the right length so that you can always make sure it's going to be right. One of the core principles in business as well is that you've got to be prepared to evolve and to change. And, you know, the world of handmade is changing rapidly. We're in a totally digital immersion space and time, right? So if we're trying to apply handmade, I guess, strategies that have worked in the past, it's good, but it's also about how can we evolve them to bring them forward into time as well. You know, handmade markets, like we're seeing handmade markets. Oh, cat's always helpful when you're trying to create. Handmade markets closing all over the place, right, around the country. And, you know, problematic with weather and just all of the other things that can go on to make it a little bit trickier. But so how are you evolving as a handmade artisan? And you know what that means? We all know what it means. It means how are you bringing more of your business into online? And perhaps even if you're doing like a traditional bricks and mortar store, there will still be an element of marketing that's going to happen online in order for you to be able to grow your business. Bruce, oh, he's soaking wet too. Oh my goodness. He wants me to dry him. So I could give you hundreds of examples of handmade businesses that are absolutely thriving. But the key things that you'll find about those businesses is really, first and foremost, their commitment to marketing their products, but also their openness to embracing online as well. And when I say openness to embracing online, it doesn't mean just putting products online and hoping for the best, because that's not how it works. If you're going to be popping your items on a website or a platform like Made It, then you've still got to be driving the traffic towards your store and towards who you are as a brand. So again, that branding element comes into how you're going to be operating as an actual handmade business as well. We had a really great live session this morning on Instagram, and our channel is made_it_ artisans, or one word at the end, this morning with the collective, like with the Handmade Collective. And it was so interesting because it was a reflection session and we were diving into things that have happened over the past year in our businesses, but also sharing those experiences as well. And one of the last questions was about if you could go back and give yourself advice when you first started your handmade business, what would you say? And so it really gives, you know, those artisans who've been going for a while, that they could share their advice and insights. And Jason from My Timber Treasures, shared such a great idea. And one of the things that he said is that one of the things he would tell himself is that what you create is less about what you love and more about what your customers want. Now, that is absolute business strategy there we're talking about. And it's something that I see really common happen with artisans, where they're like, I'm an artist, this is what I do. I make this particular thing, this particular way, and I'm not getting the sales that I want. Now, again, if you have done the masterclass that we've got, which is Why Am I Not Getting Sales, you'll know that it's not necessarily about your product offering. There's much bigger topic of conversation there. But for Jason, he was creating like timber jewelry and timber earrings and stuff. And then he realized that for him, that was quite a flooded part of the market. And maybe it was also, and look, I'm putting words in his mouth here, but also because it wasn't his sole focus, you know, you've got to keep asking yourself, how am I adding value in that area? You know, funny for me, even when I'm creating clothes, right? Something that I do is that I still buy clothes. I love buying clothes. I love fashion, right? But when I buy clothes, I spend every day as an opportunity to wear test garments. I remember it was something we used to say in my business was that every day, any day that you missed doing a wear test was a missed opportunity. And for me, I'm the same with clothing, like this shirt. I love this shirt. It's a Sans et Sans shirt, but there's so many things that I don't love about it. And actually when I'm wearing it, it creates me as the expert because I want to tweak it and make it better and come up with new solutions. So the same goes for handmade in your business. And I guess it's about how are you adding value with the products that you're doing, and not just going, oh, it's handmade and I'm an artisan, therefore it should be made into a business. Again, it's in that question of, is handmade business dead? It's like, well, no, not if you're approaching it like an actual business as well, and not just like a hobby. And if it's just a hobby, then you can let go of all those kind of things that you need to worry about in business. What you put in is going to be a direct correlation to actually what you get out as well. If we're talking about how handmade is performing as a whole, well, as the owner of Made It, I've got some key insights that I can share with you to absolutely prove that handmade business is not dead. Now, in the past year, I've owned Made It for 2 years. Just had my 2-year anniversary yesterday, which is very exciting. In the past 12 months, we've seen a massive increase in traffic, 40% in general unique traffic, and then 39% in new users. So that shows that there's an absolute desire. People are actually looking for handmade as well. And do you want to know the increase in sales? 60% we've gone up in sales. So handmade business is not dead, but how you're approaching your handmade business may be at the base of when you need to look at how can you evolve your approach to business in order to make sure that your handmade artisan business is thriving. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you got some crafting and creation actually done. As you can see, it's still pretty limited to me, but I'm pretty happy that I actually managed to get that elastic in. Now I can stitch it all properly and finish up the other side. So have an awesome day. If you've got particular topics that you want me to have a chat about, or that you're interested in, or you want to share your feedback on whether or not handmade is dead, pop it in the comments, tell me where you are, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.